Alright guys, Vol here, onto the final game of the Equinox 2012 tournament. It's Circle against Circle for this one, and my opponent up from Wellington, Chris, has brought with him pKreuger and pKreuger, Prime Kruger. And the interesting thing about that choice is it's very much a on-paper Circle pairing, because pKreuger great against the heavy armor, and pKreuger great against the infantry spam, and that's why a lot of people think from the outset it's a good choice. Chris has actually just moved to Circle from Crix, and I can see why he's done that, but I don't really feel it's like the best Circle pairing. You can't really go 7 wins in a tournament because you end up coming up against these very sort of well-honed, balanced lists that neither pKreuger or pKreuger is equipped to deal with. However, in my case, I'm also playing Circle, and my choices are a bit quirkier. I mean, if I go for Chromac for this one, it means that if he picks pKreuger, we both have the similar sorts of beasts and similar sorts of threat ranges. I can out-threat him if I get Warpath off, he can out-threat me if he gets Dogpile off, but it's easier for him to get Dogpile off, because he just has to arc it, whereas I have to kill something, but he's only got beasts and druids. I may not necessarily be able to actually get it off in the turn I need it. However, with pKreuger, if I go with Chromac, pKreuger's really going to struggle with that, because he is going to get very little mileage out of his feet. I can put Bestial down to stop the druids from doing anything and stopping him from hitting me with lightning, and of course the Warbeast will actually tear through his whole army. But of course the reason I've gone for Cassius is not just because, you know, I've lost 3 games now with Chromac and won 3 games with Cassius, but because Cassius can actually handle both matchups if I play it optimally. You know, it's not going to be easy, but if I take Chromac, there's the risk that he's going to go with pKreuger and just beat me hands down, because I feel if he played that matchup correctly, pKreuger would probably win it. So here we are with Cassius. It's just a straightforward close quarters scenario, as you can see. He's got the first turn here, but the idea is going to have to be to spread my troops out feet early, and then really play aggressively and really put the pressure on, because if it comes down to war of attrition, pKreuger is actually going to do more damage to me than Cassius can do to his guys single-handedly. Next photo, here he is, just deploying and going to be moving up. He's got the feralgeist as well, which should be interesting, and the Skinwalkers. I feel like this is just not really an optimal, you know, Circle list. You know, he's new to Circle, but for starters, there's no shifting stones. You always take at least 1 set, even if you don't have the UA. I mean, you've got to have 1 set there minimum. The Druids and the Overseer is a bit overkill at 35 points. You know, it's a big bulk of your army, and he's really only got 1 thing that hits very hard, and that's his feral. So if he loses his feral, then he's just got no heavy hitting stuff whatsoever except the CMA from the Skinwalkers, but that's so short-ranged and unreliable. Next image, he is moving up here, putting down the clouds. God knows why he's bothering with the clouds. I mean, my stuff all has Hunter. I guess he's got a little bit of defense against Cassius' spells, but he's using counter magic anyway, so not really sure why that's happened there. But I mean, I guess he's got nothing else to do with his druids, so may as well. And everything else just moving in on behind. Next image, I have executed my plan here, which is a really, really ballsy move, which is to teleport the tree up turn 1, and then use Unseen Path from Cassius just to move up along with it, and feet, and then just run the entire army through the forest and space everything out so that there's always a gap of at least 3 inches between each infantry model. And also, what I've done here is I've brought up the Farrow Bone Grinders and bunched them up just to tempt him to actually send the feet moves on them, because if he kills those guys, well, I just get free soul tokens, and it saves me the pain of having the templates launched on other models, which are more important. Cassius has also got 4 transfers, because I haven't actually had enough time to think through whether he can actually get anything to the tree. I'm playing against Circle, which is an army with a lot of Pathfinder, but no Hunter in this particular list, so I feel like I'm going to be safe. Double check the rules, and I found out from reading the tree's card that the Druids won't be able to use their Force Bolt to move the tree, so I'm safe in that regard as well. Next image, what he does try to do is move the Druids up and put some force bolts onto Cassius, but he didn't manage to. Cassius is defense 16 in the forest. He tried to force bolt with the first Druid, but only rolled a 1, and that didn't have enough movement to move Cassius over this lamppost here, so he got stuck, and that was fine. Trying to put some attacks on my Tharn Ravagers, but they are defense 15 in the forest, so they managed to hold out from that. So that was looking really cool. One funny thing that happened is he tried to force bolt one of my Ravagers and missed, and then had to shoot his own Druid, I think, with the same thing. So he lost a Druid, and I picked up a soul token for the tree. Not quite sure if that's what happened or if that was legal, but that's how we played it. Next image, my turn 2, really quite a good turn here because he didn't really achieve anything in his first turn, and he didn't feat either. So really expected him to, but sitting really pretty here because the Tharn Ravagers can then charge. The prey target is on the Druids, but in one single turn I managed to wipe out all of the Druids with the Tharn Ravagers and the Totem Hunter there, shifting the prey target to the Warpwolf Skinwalkers, and Cassius is also able to Curse of Shadows them thanks to Black Roots, ignoring the melee penalty, and then teleporting back out of trouble. And when the Wolfriders assaulted in, they wiped out most of the Skinwalkers, and the photo you're looking at now is the result of their light cavalry movement away. So looking really good. I've wiped out all of his infantry except for 2 Skinwalkers. He's only got his beasts left, and from now on it's going to be a war of attrition, which I stand a really good chance of winning. So next image, here's the final end of my turn. I've actually got Cassius in the tree all the way back here to the safety of the Swamp Gobber Cloud, and the Farrow Bone Grinders are actually just bunched up around the Stonekeeper, and you can see I'm just laying a trap for my opponent here. I'm going, look, you can get 5 kills out of that one sort of feat template. Why don't you just put it there? Whereas in reality, he needs to be using his feat templates on the Wolfriders because they have the lowest armor and the lowest number of boxes, and they have the most danger at this point with their assault damage output. So if he does actually kill all of the Wolfriders with his templates, then he has a chance of coming back in the game. One other dynamic feature of what's happening here is that we have to keep our 2 heavy warbeasts, Feral and Stalker, 11 inches apart, because he's actually got reach on his with lightning tendrils, and neither of us can afford to lose either heavy warbeast. Next image, what ends up happening is he does feat, and he does attack the Totem Hunter and the Wolfrider with 2 of his templates, but he doesn't indeed fall for the trap of killing the Bone Grinders with his other template, which maxes out the tree on soul tokens again. Souls. And what happens here is that he charges his Feral in front of pKreuger to kill, I think, 1 Ravager, which was surprising because it does put his Feral within 11 inches of my Stalker, which I feel again was a mistake from him. So that gives me yet another opportunity. Next image, as you can see here, the Stalker has gone primal, has charged in at the Feral and wiped it out thanks to some decent dice rolls. I've assaulted again with the Wolfriders, who have actually shifted their prey targets to pKreuger, same with the Totem Hunter. And I've done some damage on both the Warden and the Gorax with the Ravager and the Totem Hunter. It's looking really good. The Stalker's on full health, although I suspect he will frenzy next turn into probably one of my own guys. Next image, pKreuger with Skyborn proving really difficult to hit from the Wolfriders, so he's lashing out now and actually doing some damage. Losing a couple of Wolfriders from this. The Gorax does nail the Totem Hunter, and the Warden doing some damage to, I think, one of my Ravagers, not killing it. My opponent rolling very badly for his attack rolls in some of these cases, needing 8s and on 3 dice and not getting them, or 6s on 2 dice and not getting it, or 7s or whatever it was. So expecting him to do a little bit more damage, but he didn't quite manage it. So next photo, the Stalker has frenzied into my own Tharn Ravager, which helps my opponent out. So what he does to retaliate is he puts Primal on the Gorax and then moves the Warden in here. He's been spending so much Fury lately that he hasn't been able to actually remove all of the Fury tokens off the Warden. But when the Gorax and the Warden both moved in here to take care of the Stalker, they didn't quite kill it. They left them on a small number of boxes, so that allows me to then put Primal back up and wipe out his Warbeasts. So going, well, there's actually no next photo. What ends up happening is that the Stalker does indeed primal, wipes out both beasts, and Kreuger does try to polish off the Stalker, but still doesn't manage it, and the Stalker frenzies into Kreuger and destroys him with one hit. Which I thought was awesome, and you know, a very fitting way to end the tournament. 4 wins with Cassius, 0 wins with Chromac. Managed to get 4-3 and come 9th, thanks to having like 9 control points out of the whole event. So magical weekend for Cassius. Not a great weekend for me in general. Haven't improved on my standings from previous tournaments, but recently I managed to finally get some of the Menoth stuff that I've been waiting for in the mail. So the next tournament coming up will be NatCon at the beginning of April, during Easter, and I'll be playing Menoth 100% for sure. So, you know, holding out for that one, but hope you guys enjoyed this particular tournament. Catch you later.